so we are all good. I just wanted to give a couple extra minutes for anyone who might be waking up late this morning. So hopefully you can see me okay. Great, so we will officially get started. So thank you again, everyone, for hanging out with me today. And I want to say a really big Happy New Year to all of you. I'm sure many of you had an awesome night last night. And what we're going to talk about today is really laying a foundation for you to make your 2016 fabulous. And I know I've seen so many posts this morning, so many people really excited about this year. And what we're going to talk about today are very simple things that we can all do together. And we will get started on that. So it looks like we are maxed out today on our webinar, which is so great. At the end of the webinar, I will share with you some next steps and some very awesome things that you can do to get started today. So this is going to be an interactive webinar. I would highly recommend that you have a pen and paper with you. I will make sure this is recorded for you, so if you want to re-listen to it, you'll be able to. Right after this webinar, I will be posting the worksheet and the webinar recording on beautifulmoney.com. So give me about 10 minutes after the webinar and we will have everything up and running for you on beautifulmoney.com. So please have a pen and paper handy and we will just take a minute I just want to make sure I notice that there's somebody who can't hear me. Everybody can hear me okay before we move forward? Just want to make sure. Okay, awesome. So if you have a pen and paper handy, we are officially going to get started. You are all part of something that I've been working on for over 3 years. So I've been working on the concept of beautiful money through my own life, but also taking really good notes in a notebook that I carry with me all the time for what I wanted to create as a brand and also as a community. And after mentoring for the past 11 years, I have taken good notes on what's most important to you. Where are some of the areas that you might be looking for some guidance and mentoring on? And in my own life, what are some of the challenges that I faced and how have I overcome that? So, we're going to talk about what exactly is beautiful money. For those of you who saw my Instagram post yesterday, I've been working for the past few months on the Beautiful Money podcast, which is actually going to launch on iTunes in January. So look out for that. But I've interviewed some of my favorite financial and wellness experts, including Barbara Stanny, Kate Northrup, Rachel Brathen, Natalie McNeil, Farnoosh Tarabi, Selena Sue. So we've got lots and lots of amazing experts. And once a month, once a week, I'll be posting a new podcast up live, and you'll see probably about 4 podcasts that will be up there for you in the next couple weeks. And again, that'll be available through iTunes. So I wanted to see what you thought about this as my cover. So if you check Instagram out, you can let me know what your thoughts are. But really, what is beautiful money? The whole concept of it is really to start creating your life in a holistic way, not in a money chasing way, not in a way where you're always stressing and struggling. We don't want, I mean, really, it's to teach you how to be in the driver's seat for holistic wealth. Now, what does that mean? Well, it's really about as you're on your own money journey, use it as your leadership tool because your money is an incredible metric for how you're doing with your own leadership and your own self-esteem. So, whenever we are in a situation where we might be struggling with money or we might be feeling scarcity or completely stressed, stop and just look at it as a teaching opportunity and look at it, okay, well, where in my life do I need to step up? Have I been living powerfully? Have I been living on purpose? Have I been living fully authentically? Have I been living abundantly and really faithfully? So, am I really truly knowing from my heart, not just my head, that there is abundance out there already? So let's say your goal this year is to make a certain amount of income. Well, it's already there. Your objective is to find your way to it. And I love that from Esther and Jerry Hicks. A lot of their books talk about that. it's already there. And when you really know that and trust that, your role is really to just get yourself as aligned as possible so you can make your way to that money that's already there. And I think about that in my mind. And if I am in an area where, oh my, there's this money is feeling a little scarce, or I'm having a stressful day, or I'm living in a little bit of fear, I visualize that picture of my vision board and, a big pool of wealth sitting there already and saying, Leanne, we're already here. You just have to do a little bit of fine tuning and you'll be able to find us. And that's just a little visual technique that I find really helpful. So, beautiful money is really about not just money, it's about how to create your most fulfilling and on purpose life where abundance is there all around you. But this is not something, this is sort of a serious class that you sign up for, because if your objective is to create beautiful money, then your role is really to clean up the neglect in your life. Everybody wants abundance. Everybody wants amazing finances. Everybody wants, their vision board to appear. But the homework is that's going to mean shifts in your life. That's going to mean it's time for you to get really honest with where there's neglect. And we're going to talk about that today because really it's cleaning up the neglect. And this is a perfect time of year to do that. And when you look at this image, it's not every day you're going to be living this way. I mean, that would be my ultimate enlightened life, to look at this and say, yep, everything has a check mark. But it is my ideal. So this is when I wake up each morning, what my ideal state is. And if I'm falling short in some of the areas, it just reminds me of where the focus needs to be. So for example, before this web class started, I was uploading this and it says gracefully and passionately, and I had my baby bawling upstairs and coughing, and I had some tech issues. So it just reminds you to pause and say, okay, you just put out there that this is how you want to live. We're going to give you a little bit of chaos in your life to see how you really handle things, because it's not on the amazing days where you're tested, right? Like it's easy to feel like you're living a beautiful money life on the days where everything's working out. But where your true test is how do you handle things when things are crazy and your life isn't going like you like, where maybe you've got lots of bills and too much month at the end of the money and you're not feeling aligned and you're feeling not so healthy. How do you act then? And that's what this is all about. It's about acting a little kinder, acting a little more powerfully and mindfully when you have chaos in your life. And again, like I mentioned, this is something that we don't sign up for unconsciously. It is a commitment to every area of your life to be a leader and to lead with excellence. So, the whole premise behind all of this is to help you to stop chasing money and to start creating wealth. That's what we're all about. And that's what all of us want to do is, to just trust that the money is all there waiting for us. And our role is to just be in a creative state and not a chasing state. So for those of you that I don't know, this is just a tiny bit about me. So I've always been passionate about wellness and equally passionate about entrepreneurship. So one of the things that I chose to do was to make my life like a life class, make it a life class of learning as much as I could about myself and pursuing interests and passions and just being a lifelong student, but also a lifelong teacher. And what I find is that many of my colleagues and friends are, we sometimes fall short on that. We either forget to be humble and to be a student, because being coachable is really one of the number one key factors to creating beautiful money. But sometimes we need to raise our self-confidence to remember that we're all here to be teachers as well. There's not going to be that day where somebody says, okay, it's time for you to be a teacher. It's time right now to be a student and a teacher. So teach your gifts. Share with the world what you love, what you're naturally good at, and learn and be humble and be ready to be coachable all the time. So for me, that is what my commitment is to myself, to be a student and a teacher. So I'm also a yoga and Pilates instructor, a clinical nutritionist. I have a Bachelor of Science in Biomedical Toxicology, and like I said, I have an equal passion for having entrepreneurship as the heart of my life. So I pursued business as well, having an MBA. I have 4 kids. I have a stepdaughter who's 9.5. I have a 3-year-old, a 1.5-year-old, and a 6-month-old. And I'm a huge free spirit. So if I feel like I don't have freedom to make decisions, to flow with my life, if I don't have a spacious schedule, if I feel tied down, I don't function well. So, what is it about you that makes you thrive? If you're like that and you need to feel free, maybe today's about looking at some areas in your life where there is some umbilical cords going, or you feel like you do have a bit of a jail around you for your money, for your time, for how you live your days. So we're going to talk about how we can uplift that to that next level. I'm also the author of the upcoming book, Beautiful Money. So this book is my fifth child, and it's going to be launching January 3rd, 2017. So I have 12 months. So this is the 1-year countdown to the official launch of Beautiful Money, the book. But we're gonna hang out this year. I will be mentoring you throughout the year and getting you really prepared so that when the book launches, you are totally ready to do the program. And so we're going to start with 10 juicy intentions and 10 ways that you can make 2016 fabulous. So if you have a pen and paper, I really recommend taking some notes right now that are specific to your situation. So number one, and this is a practice I always do. So these 10 things are things that I did for myself over the last month. And I thought, what better way to kickstart the year than to share them with you? So number one is to set 3 delicious and juicy goals. I am a huge lover of the number 3. There is something divine and magical about it. It keeps your life simple, and it also has an incredible magnetic spiritual energy about it. So I like to set 3 delicious goals. So what I would encourage you to do before the day ends, so don't wait until tomorrow. This is about right now. I want you to set 3 delicious and juicy goals for the next 12 months. And what I mean by delicious is I want these goals to give you little butterfly flutters in your gut. So I want them to generate some creative energy and excitement. If they're boring or too easy for you to accomplish, you're not going to grow. And you also want them to, like I said, give you goosebumps. So, 3 delicious goals you have for yourself. Always make sure that they're measurable and make sure that they're easy for you to check off yes or no. So, again, practice non attachment. Don't think about how you're going to do it. Don't get stressed about, I don't know if I can do it. Just write them down. And we're going to have the whole year to figure out how to do it. So don't worry about that today. I want you to put on your very strong self-confidence hat when you're writing these, but don't make them so scary that you feel like you're going to throw up. I know some of you that have a little bit of a challenge with making goals because you're not sure how challenging to make them. Well, a good rule of thumb is that they give you goosebumps and you feel an initial nudge in your gut saying, love it, love it, love it. And it will be a little scary because you're going to have to grow to make it happen, but it's not so overwhelming that you feel like you're going to barf right now. That is sort of how I set them. Occasionally, I set them 1 year too ambitious. So, I do that all the time. When I set a goal, it's usually pretty ambitious. And I'm 1 year ahead of schedule. And I'm learning that about my own group. So you're going to know yourself well, and you're going to know how you roll. You might need a goal that's really challenging for you to be on your A game. And that's how I am. But for some of you, setting goals is something new, or setting lofty goals is something new. So set something that, again, you can create, but is a little bit scary. So I hope you can think about, something that you really want, a way that you want to contribute. Maybe this is your year to finally stop living in fear and really fully stepping into your power, your abundance, and you're going to have a lot of help with this. So, again, you're going to have to bring in the troops that are there to support you. But today is about writing down what they are. So, one, two, and three, this is your first goal. Second, right now, without thinking about how, I want you to write down your income goal on paper or on your phone. But again, I prefer paper because I feel that there's something magical about when you actually hand write a number that helps manifest it. So write it down on paper. And I want to thank one of my colleagues, Aiden, who's on this webinar, and my sister-in-law for suggesting the Passion Planner, because I got one for Christmas. And what a wonderful tool for anyone who's a bit old school like me that likes a paper agenda. I'm obsessed with it. And I spent a little bit of time last week getting super organized for the new year using my Passion Planner. So you might have your own that's coming, or you have another one that you love. I know Natalie McNeil suggests there's some online ones that they suggest. I know Danielle Laporte has one as well. So whatever one you love, use that. But I want you to write down today what your income goal is. And then in your planner, December 31st, 2016, I want you to write down on that date. So next December, on the 31st, I have gratefully and abundantly earned this amount. And then you put that amount in. So that is your way of setting a clear intention on paper for what the goal is. But then also fast forward to next December, you have written how grateful you are that you've earned that because of the person that you have had to become throughout the year. Number three is to create spacious and a gorgeous weekly schedule. So what do I mean by this? Well, last year I did not manage my time very well. And I think I used to be amazing at this. And then I had 3 kids. And it all went out the window. I feel like I got back in kindergarten for learning how to time manage, because I might have a day that's fully ready and set to create for my business, but then I have falling babies upstairs, or they want to hang out, and family is most important. So I would prefer to take a break and hang out with my kids. So I've had to learn how to time manage better. But what I also realize is that sometimes your schedule, the way you're running it, might not be aligned with true, amazing, great success. It might be okay for how you're rolling right now, but for you to step up to your next level of abundance and greatness, it's going to probably require you to manage your time better. So I'm going to give you some tips. One of the things that I do is I have all of my admin time and coaching time a specific time of the week. So you have to think about, what is your personality? Some people I know, they need to schedule all of their day to really feel like they're leading. And it works really well. If you're more analytical by nature, if you are somebody who is very methodical, if you're an athlete, you might like to organize your schedule very well so that you know what you have going on each day. For free spirits, they will feel like they're going to throw up if they look at their schedule and it has all kinds of stuff in it. And I'm like that. So for me to have a schedule that's like busting at the seams makes me want to cry. So for me, I need more space in my calendar than activities. And this is really important, because when I open my day planner, if I don't see space, I don't feel good inside. And I have to honor that. That's how my personality rolls. So I have chunks of time in my calendar that are sacred, that have to stay spacious. And here's a couple of simple techniques that I do that helps me with that. When I travel, I make sure the day before and the day after my travel, I don't have appointments booked. Now, you may not always be able to do this. You might have a corporate job, you might have a coaching business where you can't do that. You have to make sure that you have clients and you have business going on, or you show up at work. But what I would suggest is think about some creative ways where you can create some space in the morning, and so in the end of the day before you go travel, and the morning after the day you get back. so that you don't look at your schedule and you might just land at 11 p.m. on a flight, and then at 8 in the morning you have to jump out of bed, fly to work, and be on your A game. So this is something that most people don't think about because they're not mindful of energy at the time because they might be too busy being busy. So, what I would encourage you to do is take some time today to look at your calendar, at least from now until March 1st. You don't have to do it for the whole year because you might need some tweaking. But what I did is from now till March 1st, I have Mondays and Fridays as my family days. So I don't have business scheduled on those days. Or if I have time, that's for my content generation. So for my blogging, for my article writing, and for anything that I have to do that's creative. So Mondays and Fridays are my creative and content and family days. And then I have Wednesday, I have 2.5 hours of mentoring time. So that's for me when I do my mentoring for the week. And then the other thing I do is from now until March 1st, in my calendar, I have my well being time scheduled there. So my yoga classes, for example, and my time where I'll go for a run or go for a walk. I do that before I schedule my business because if I don't, I know how my personality is and I will have no boundaries. And before I know it, I will have not even enough time in the day to make the time to drink water. That's how busy I can get if I'm not really mindful. So I have to do some extra steps to make sure that I don't get out of control because if my health isn't, this is my core value: health, freedom, and family. If I'm not aligned with my core values, what's the point of being in business? Because I won't be on my A game and I won't be magnetic. So I would rather work less and have that time be mindful and very attractive from a vibrational level than to be busy being busy. So I would rather have lots of space and when the time that I'm working is so on purpose and with excellence. So this is what I want to suggest to you is look from now until March 1st, make a calendar that works with your personality and has space in it for you to take good care of your health, have your fitness, to have creative time in your calendar so that you can actually create amazing and not just create okay. And you might want some meditation time in your calendar. If you have a corporate job, you might put, 10-minute breaks a couple times throughout the day where you can go outside and just walk around the building or just have a bit of personal time to drink some water, and to, call someone amazing. That always makes you feel awesome. So again, 8 weeks out at least, I want you to create this calendar with space and with well-being time first. And then be very mindful of if you travel a lot to create some space the afternoon before the day you travel and the morning after the day that you get back. Number 4 is to identify beliefs and habits that have to go. The reason I say this is because we can have all the coaching we want, identify belief systems that aren't aligned with us. We can identify shit that we have going on, stuff that's holding us back. But at the end of the day, it's up to you to just commit to not live in the past. And there's only so much mentoring you can get for this. You have to get to the point in your life where enough is enough and it's time for your next level, regardless of your history. And so what I want you to do today is to commit that regardless of what the issues are that we all have, today is the day to step up and step into your power. So whether you feel that your confidence isn't really strong, whether you feel like you've got some issues when it comes to scarcity, when it comes to money, you've lived in fear for years, we all have those issues. But what we need to do is act anyway. And yes, take good notes and always be a student of your own unconscious beliefs. And the goal is, as much as our unconscious mind we can make conscious. I interviewed Lisa Airy. Many of you were on her call a couple weeks ago, and she talked about we might even be aware of what our bad habits are or what our beliefs that aren't serving us are, but oftentimes our brain is wired, unless there's a crisis, we will not shift. We might know we need to shift, but we won't shift unless there's a crisis. And it's just how we're wired. So we need to consciously and mindfully make a decision today that regardless of what it is, we need to commit to ourselves that it is time for a new chapter. And then we're going to surround ourselves with people who can help us get there. But the language we use, remember, the language you use has energy and has a special vibration. So what I want you to do is really be mindful of your language and watch every single word that comes out of your mouth. I have noticed over the last year, and maybe it's because I have kids, but I swear more than I ever used to. However, when I do, it's not often in a sentence, but when I do, it's with so much passion because I feel so ready to move at my own next level and to serve at a next level. So it's just to be mindful of the energy that is behind every single word you use and to decide that it's time for you to live in the present and to live right now, regardless of history, and to live confidently because remember, we only have so much time here. It's wasted time if we're aware of something but we're not committed to shift it. Number 5 is to respect every penny you earn. And so as a group today, what I would like us to do is to look at respecting money at a whole different level. Every single penny that comes into your life, whether it's a tiny check in the mail, whether it's an e-transfer that you get, whether it is being paid by a client, I want you to take a silent moment to say thank you right after. Thank you, universe, for this income, for this money. Money is energy, and any influx of it into your life, I want you to be aware of and to be really thankful for. There's other things you can do to respect money at a whole different level. I interviewed Natalie McNeil last week, and she said when she was a kid, she used to put dollar bills in books so that they were perfectly flat. And she said, I realized that since I was a kid, I've respected money so well that it's why I have the abundance I have today. So, whether that for you is to get a new wallet, make sure your bills are beautiful and crisp and your wallet isn't crazy. For me, that's something I want to do is to get a new wallet this year and to every time I look at it, say thank you and to feel abundant when I hold it. So that might be something you want to do. But again, what I want you to do is maybe there's an area in your life where you've been neglectful, where you're not looking at your numbers, you're not looking at your bank account statements, you're not looking at your Visa statements, you don't really know where money's going. To really decide that you're going to be in the leadership seat this entire year for the next 12 months of every single penny that comes into and out of your life. You might want help with that. So you might want a team, you might want a bookkeeper, you might want an accountant, but it starts with you. So even if you do have a team, you still want to be in control and not just give away your power to other people because they're not going to care as much about your money as you do. Number 6 is to commit to stunning and efficient organization. So where in your life can you get super organized at your next level? Maybe it's your office, maybe it's your calendar, maybe it's how you live your days. Maybe you're tired of feeling messy and chaotic. And today is sort of it's like an energetic green light for you to have a new start. And that's what I love about January 1st. I don't typically set resolutions, but it kind of energetically is a fresh start for me each year. And it's a time of contemplation of what worked really well. What do I need to shift? Where do I want to be? How do I want to serve? So that's what I use my January 1st for. So commit to stunning and efficient organization in every area of your life. And we'll do this as a tribe today, holding each other accountable. And maybe you have somebody that you're close with that's on this webinar that you guys can really hold each other accountable. There's always going to be times in your life where you get a little behind, but your homework is to recognize that and to not just keep fluttering along, to take a little reset and say, you know what, I'm going to set a new tone today and make a little space at the end of the day to get organized again. Maybe your wallet gets messy or your office gets messy or your calendar, or you start over promising, or you just feel energetically you're getting a little disorganized. Take a little break, make some space, and get back on track. Cleanse your life. So I have decided for this year that my Sundays are going to be spacious Sundays. What I mean by that, and for those of you who know me, I'm sort of an avid cleanser, and I was going to call this this number 7, become a cleanser. But really, this is just about you want to make cleansing a daily part of your life at your own pace. So today, you might want to cleanse your home of all of the hoardiness that has gotten into your pantry and gotten into your house over the holidays, because people are really busy. We've got lots of parties, and all kinds of stuff can make their way into your house, from knickknacks to garbage to food that you typically don't eat. So I would love you to use a little bit of time today to just do a little cleansing. It doesn't have to be 2 hours, it can be 10 minutes. But if you're like me, you might want to take a little bit more time at the end of the day to just give away, donate, get some stuff out of your home so that it's spacious. Maybe put some essential oils on in your house to kind of clear. If you have some sage, maybe you want to bring some burn a little bit of sage in your house to energetically start a new chapter. I love to have a very spacious and clean home with natural smells. So I love lavender, I love rose oil, I love orange. So those are scents that I adore and I love to burn in my house. Peppermint is also one that I really like as well. So just, think about, and you can also cleanse your body today. Maybe make a green juice or smoothie. End your day with an Epsom salt bath with a little bit of rose oil in your bath. And just have today sort of as a loving cleansing day where you're getting rid of things that physically are not serving you. Number 8 is to make sacred time. Now, the most important time of day is as soon as you wake up and before bed. So for the year, for the next 12 months, what I'd like us to do as a team is to commit that we're going to use that time and acknowledge that time as sacred. So for at least 5 minutes before you jump out of bed and before you fall asleep, what I'd like us to do is to commit to have no electronics, no clutter, just mindful, quiet time where we're relaxing our body. We are feeling how we're feeling, whether it's good mood, bad mood, happy, sad, angry, whatever it is, but we're letting that flow through our body. When we jump out of bed or jump on technology or are on our iPads before we go to bed, there is an energetic misalignment that happens. And people underestimate how that messes up their entire day from what could have been. So maybe your life is good right now, but what Beautiful Money and the Beautiful Money year is all about is to have a sacred, abundant, and fabulous year. It's not about it. It's like we have to decide that there's really no time or space for okay. So we need to step up. And energetically, what we want to do is start and end our day with beauty. That means space and that means time to be mindful, and that means quiet time connecting with your partner, time connecting with yourself, reading something that brings you joy. I love to read a verse from the Tao Te Ching. Frequently, I have that book in my bedroom because I feel the energy from that book just makes my bedroom feel awesome. I have a beautiful, massive rose quartz that was given to me for my wedding. Thank you, everybody on this webinar that gave that to me. I hold it so precious because it exudes incredible energy into my bedroom. And I have space in my bedroom. I have my vision board up. I have my beautiful money map up on my walls framed so that every day I'm living with intention. And on the days where I'm totally off and screwing up, it just, at least I have that to remind me that I'm living on purpose. So it's time to get back on track as quickly as possible. Number 9 is to do shit now. So for those of you on this call that are putting things off because you're perfectionists or you're waiting for the right time, it will never come. I want you to do that now. Launch that website, launch that blog, get something up, write something, share something with the world, act in your business, be active in your business. Whatever it is, there is something that you're holding back and you're not doing because of fear, because you don't feel the right time is there, because you don't feel you're good enough. That is all crap. I want us all to decide to not be procrastinators because we're perfectionists, to share now and to live every single day on purpose because we don't have a lot of time. And I really would encourage you to give yourself permission to just get it going. It can always get better, but to just do it now. Be a person of action, of mindful and graceful action. And number 10 is I want us all to commit to be divinely debt free. So I have a program coming out that with the same name for those of you who might like some help to get out of debt. But this is about let's use the next 12 months to clean up our bad debt and to load up on our assets. So over the next year, maybe we have a goal to all increase our cash flow by $1,000 a month or more. Maybe we have an intention to buy a rental property, to increase our investments with our financial advisor. Maybe we have some ideas for how we can generate more money that we've been holding back on. This year is about action and about being extremely mindful of what you spend your money on. And I want us all to commit to put more in assets. So that doesn't mean that you don't have to spend less. Maybe you don't spend a lot, but I want you to spend mindfully. So look at where is money outpouring and hemorrhaging in my life. Maybe there's things that I auto pay for, like websites that I pay for that I'm not even using. Maybe I don't even notice, but there is money coming out of my bank account that I totally forgot about. Maybe there is an area that I would like to invest in that's going to grow my assets or grow my business. So it's just about being mindful about it and to getting rid of the shitty debt that's clogging up your body and your energy. So it can be, it doesn't have to be today, but I want you to commit today to get rid of that shitty debt and to use the next 12 months to learn what you need to learn, to spend less on crappy stuff and save more, invest more, and grow your asset list. And maybe today you can make a list of 10 things you can do to increase your cash flow. And maybe you can make a list of, what are some little things that maybe are, causing more debt for you that aren't mindful. Maybe there's some areas in your life where you're not leading from a driver's seat. Maybe you're letting somebody else manage your money when it's time for you to step in and start managing your money. So, again, we'll talk more about this over the next 12 months. But today it's just a little bit of an introduction to 10 simple things and commitments that will help you to have a fabulous and amazing year. So, my goal was to have this webinar run about 45 minutes. And so I'm doing pretty good. Normally I'm totally over when I commit to time, but I didn't want to take too much of your time. It is New Year's Day, but for those of you who are interested in being part of this 12-month incredible, incredible community where we're going to serve each other in making so much greatness happen, I have a new blog. Beautiful Money also will include weekly mentoring with videos and emails, a new podcast, which is launching in January on iTunes, global events, Twitter chats, and thank you to so many of you who have applied to become a Beautiful Money ambassador. If you're interested in being part of the book launch and part of global events, part of the book tour, and you would like to sort of be part of my inner circle of mentorship over the next 12 months, if you go to beautifulmoney.com, you can actually apply to become an ambassador, and we will get back to you definitely this week. And I would love to connect further on that. So, what are the next steps? Well, is to take some time for yourself today to maybe review this. I created a one-pager specifically for you based on this webinar that kind of has the 10 steps all lined out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to upload this webinar as well as the one-pager to beautifulmoney.com right after this webinar, so it will be there. And I encourage you to just share the webinar, the recording, with anybody that you feel it would help. Anybody that you feel is so ready for their next chapter, and any words that I've shared you think might be helpful for them, I would just encourage you to share the recording of this webinar with as many people as you can. So thank you so much, everybody. I am so grateful for the time you've taken. I want to wish you a very happy new year. I hope today is fabulous. I hope your year is fabulous. And I'm really looking forward to this community over the next 12 months of just helping each other to really grow and to really step into our greatness. So have a wonderful day, everyone, and Happy New Year.